Start now. So we stopped at this point where Prabhupada is talking about the deities, so how to worship the deities. Picture must be kept in a nice altar and regularly arati and everything should go on. That's point where he stopped. GKD. Govinda Kṛṣṇa Dāsa.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Oh, okay. GKD. Hare Krishna.
Actually, I just wrote it very quickly. I'm driving. So.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Okay.
No worries. No worries. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So we have to read from this point where Prabhupada was in Bombay. Actually, I'll do one thing. Gaurav Prabhu has joined. Gaurav Prabhu, can you share the screen with the, oh no, was it Rajesh Prabhu? Yes, Rajesh Prabhu, you shared it, right? Can you share, can you please share that scanned copy in the, for the thing, the earlier one, 195 page. You had scanned from 200 page or not. So,
yeah, share it in the WhatsApp group, Prabhu. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. No, you can even just share the screen,
Okay.
You can share the screen. No? That'd be easier for you to read. But we have to read from page number 195.
We are reading from 195.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 minute.
So here Prabhupada is going to give some very important instructions on preaching. You know, our mood while preaching. Very beautiful points are coming up. Is Rakesh joined today? I think he has got tied up with a lot of things he said.
Yes, Prabhu.
Said he's too tied up. That's why
Can
he
you
asked
see
me.
my screen?
Yes, it's coming up. Yes, now I can see page number 195. Yes, nice. So, anyone would like to read while Prabhupada was in Bombay from there onwards? Any volunteers?
Is my voice fine now, Prabhuji?
Your voice is okay, but I'm echoing when I'm speaking. Not sure why. Maybe when I'm speaking, you can just put it on mute, and when you are speaking, I will keep quiet. That is probably the only other workaround for it. Yeah. Okay. So, who Chitra Mataji would like to read? We are not able to hear you though. You are not able to hear. Unmuted, but you are not able to hear. I think Mataji might also have to log in again.
Can you hear me now?
Now better, Mataji. Now clear.
Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. While Prabhupada was in Bombay, Tamal Krishna instituted a morning class at Shivaneri, which was just a few blocks away from Bhogilal Patel's house. We would go to Seth Bhogilal's early in the morning to see Prabhupada, hoping to accompany him on the morning walk.
So Prabhupada is
Tamal
staying
Krishna.
at Bhogilal Patel's house, and Shivner is very close from their flat where they are staying. These are a little bit away from the actual land, the Hare Krishna land. So usually Prabhupada takes devotees for a morning walk. Those are very famous morning walks, where a lot of beautiful discussions. Prabhupada has a very lively conversation with the devotees, and especially Dr. Patel's conversations with Prabhupada are very well known. Maharaj will quote about that also. Okay, let's continue.
Tamal Krishna wanted us to return to Shivaneri for the class, but when he complained to Prabhupada that it was time for class and the devotees didn't want to go, Prabhupada replied, "That's all right, I have just come. They want to be here with me." We had
See, this is Prabhupada, you may have a certain system, which this is usually you tend to have this. Oh, we have a morning class. Devotees have to come. Those things, But at the same time, Prabhupada has his own lively dealings with the devotees also. And so he says, I just come, so they want to be with me. So let's continue here. It doesn't matter if you want to have the class here or you want to class there. Of course, the system has to go on. That also needs to be there. Somebody as strict as Krishna Maharaj has to be there. Otherwise, it will be like what do you call it as? There's a nice saying. There's a nice saying, wherever you want to go, you go, you do there. There's no fixed thing. Because when a fixed thing goes on, then like the 4:30 Mangalati, 7:30, like that, there's fixed things are there. Then you tend to see there's a system, so discipline is there, and so outsiders also come regularly. When many times when these outsiders come to the temple and they see the Aarti, they say 7:30 p.m. Aarti, but then the deities don't open. Then they ask, when is Aarti? We want to go, like that. So these are some of the things which need to be followed. But at the same time, because these are all like early days, Prabhupada was giving that freedom for devotees to also spend time with him. Similar incident happened with Maharashtra Maharaj also. One thing that my godbrother Devakinandan Prabhu used to share is that in early days, when Maharaj used to go to Singapore, he would sit after the class also, he would sit with devotees and they will be just surrounding him and they will just keep talking different things. And Devaki Prabhu would indicate to the devotees that, Maharaj has to rest here. You just leave the place. Like Maharaj. So once or twice he indicated that. And Maharaj was saying, no, it's all right. They want to be with me, so let it be. And the third time Maharaj actually chastised him mildly that, see, I want their association. So why are you coming and preventing me from taking their association? I want to be with them all. The more I can. Just 1 sec. Sorry, Prabhupada. So Maharaj would tell that, I need to have this association. Why are you stopping me from doing that? So there are times, your devotees, we cannot understand their mood. So we have to go by what really their mood is at that time. There are times when they would say that it's time for me. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow. Like that, they will also give some little indications. So we have to be very on our toes. They will never allow us to rest and see that this is what it is. Let's continue reading.
We had also arranged outside programs with Prabhupada for potential donors. When we mentioned to Mr. Mohanlal Piramal, a textile magnate, Parimal Spinning and Weaving Mills, that Prabhupada was in Bombay, he was eager that Prabhupada should come to his house, to his home. Prabhupada accepted the invitation, telling us that we should go ahead and begin and that he would follow. He arrived while Achyutananda was singing bhajans and was ushered to a sofa, on which he sat cross-legged and observed the bhajans and the devotees. After a while, he said, "Chant Hare Krishna." So we did kirtan and then he spoke. After the lecture, our host wanted to feed us, especially Prabhupada. Prabhupada left, but we stayed behind to honor Prasada and associate with our host, his wife, his mother, and a few other family members. Later, Prabhupada questioned our method of preaching. He said, "This is not preaching. Go to some rich man's house and flatter him and sing a few songs and take prasad. Do you actually preach?" Yes, Tamal Krishna said.
That's a very powerful statement, isn't it? This is where Prabhupada's the corrective mechanisms. He has his corrective mechanism, because this is when Prabhupada says this, we realize, isn't it? Oh, what did we do? We just go there. They are like comfortable there. They like to talk to them. So we just spoke to them something nice, do some bhajans or whatever. They enjoyed it. And then we ate prasadam and came back. Where is the preaching? So Prabhupada is always there to correct our. See, because he was doing all these things in those days, now this is 73, 72, 50 years before. And 50 years later, they still make so much sense to us, isn't it? Then we see that it's really, and many times we also slip into that kind of mentality that we go to some, because rich people then generally, they will have some piety, definitely. They will have so many other dealings, whatever, but at the same time, they may want to have a little bit of that bhajans or something where they will feel some soothing thing and whatever. But whether they will seriously take to Krishna consciousness is a big question mark. Depending on our preaching, only it can happen. Like Prabhupada did it to Seti by his purity, and how he became lifelong supporter of movement, especially supporting in the critical times, right? So then Prabhupada is actually asking this question for them to introspect. Yes, Prabhupada, Mataji, please continue.
Yes, Tamal Krishna said, we preach very forcefully. We don't just flatter.
And we can definitely say this of Tamal Krishna Maharaj. There cannot be someone who is more forceful than Tamal Krishna Maharaj in his preaching. Yes, Mataji.
Well, all right then, Prabhupada replied. But soon thereafter, he introduced conditions for our having outside programs. He said that we should accept a program only if there would be a large donation or a large gathering at which people would take up chanting Hare Krishna. He also said that he didn't want the program to take away from our preaching at Juhu. So, although the system we had devised for collecting funds for Vrindavan had been successful, and we could understand that Prabhupada wanted our program to be pure. The gates
One
and
interesting
entrance.
thing, now one may question this point about why Prabhupada is saying this about the donation, right? It's okay, when we are able to understand that Prabhupada says a large gathering at which people will take up chanting Hare Krishna, that is okay, understandable, because we always want to give to as many people as possible. Not that we want just a crowd, but we want more people to this chanting Mahamantra, this to reach to more people. But why is Prabhupada saying that we should accept a program only if there will be a large donation? It looks like then anybody who is trying to find faults with our movements activities. See, Prabhupada is saying grinding up for money, isn't it?
This was basically for Vrindavan Temple, Prabhuji, right? The donations that they were collecting.
No. This is saying this device a system for collecting from the one. Similar thing they are doing for Juhu. And Prabhupada is talking about collecting, accepting programs where they can give donation. It's mainly for the Juhu temple. But they had done a similar thing in Vrindavan. That's what Prabhupada wanted to replicate here.
He said so that things are not taken lightly or cheaply. That's why everybody starts inviting or.
No, that is correct. That is correct. But what we can, but still the question can come, right? Why is he saying that about the donation part? It means we are saying that, okay, if you give donation, I am coming.
Is it because it shows the seriousness, Prabhu?
Seriousness is one thing, one way of looking at it. What is the other way of looking at it?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Prabhuji, it's because Prabhupada is so pure devotee of Krishna. He want to engage as many people in this service, Prabhuji.
No, as many people is taken up, understood, Prabhu. I'm talking about the donation part.
That's what I'm saying regarding donation only. He want to give.
How it will
Listen.
translate to more people coming?
You mean donation from single person or the
He's
same
talking
donation
about
from
going to rich
different people?
people's place, Prabhu. He's talking
Okay.
about going to rich people. That's what he's basically referring to. You know, go to rich man's house and flatter him and sing a few songs and take prasad. That is not the way to preach. So then he's putting a condition that you either accept an invitation if they are willing to give some donation, or they are having a big program where you can um, uh, see we give Krishna to more people.
Prabhuji, different people have different opulences. Somebody can walk, somebody can talk. But from a rich person, this is the opulence we can utilize for Krishna.
Very, very good. You are pretty close to the point, Prabhu. I will tell you one incident where Maharaj showed a similar this thing. Then that will probably connect to this point. It's very similar to Prabhupada's movement. So Maharaj was in world tour, and in one place he was. Usually, what happens is when Maharashtra Maharaj was talking about. After the program, he will sit there in the corner, and then as while the other kirtans and other prasad things are all going on, he would still sit there, and devotees will come in a queue or something, and he will give prasad and talk to them. Because many of them know him personally, he will just give some personal guidance, etc. So one of the personal servants, one of the devotees was Maharaj disciple, was standing next to Maharaj, and I think it is in US. So there are many devotees have been coming, and there are some people who are from good position, basically status wise, little rich people, wealthy people. So when they came, when with others who are like asking some questions, and all, Maharaj was talking to them about their job, about their their family. I mean to say, he was talking about devotional life, to take up chanting. You tell them you chant nicely, read Bhagavad Gita, like that. You give some instructions. But when some of these wealthy people came, he would only talk to them about their family, their business, etc. And he will not talk anything about bhakti. He will not talk anything about chanting, reading, anything, nothing of that sort. So this, and then they will give some donation, and Maharaj will just hand it over to the personal servant, whatever little they give. So later, this Prabhuji asked Maharaj, why is it that you are not talking anything about bhakti to these people? As it is, you can talk to them something about bhakti to them. But they will others not think that you are only taking donations from them, you are not telling anything about bhakti. Some kind of a chanting or some prayers or something, reading Bhagavatam or something, you should tell them. So Maharaj said that, see, I know the people's mentality from my experience. So he said, when I see them, I know whether they are interested, inclined at this point or not. So they just come to take some blessings of a sadhu, so that they can their business can run well, or whatever, their family can be all right, whatever that is there. So I take that Lakshmi, so that through that Lakshmi, I can offer their service to Krishna. They may not know that service that they are doing. They may think that they are just giving some Lakshmi for some pious thing, pious activity, whatever they're some blessings, whatever. But I am engaging that little Lakshmi, whatever they are giving in Krishna's service, so that they will start an Ajnata Sukriti. They will start the bhakti process, Ajnata Sukriti. Slowly, then they will come. If I tell one word about bhakti, they will immediately say, no, Swamiji, I don't have time. My business doesn't allow me to do these things. And then next time they will not come. So slowly, I have to bring them. And I know, I mean, Maharaj could have even said that by purity, but All of them know, especially when they are working with such, I think, dedication and commitment and sacrifice to Prabhupada. They follow in the footsteps of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada has shown us that when they are giving the donation, whatever they have earned from their Lakshmi, they are giving their part of their wealth to Krishna. So their aim may be piety, some auspicious things in their life or whatever. But when the guru, when the spiritual master receives, pure devotee receives it and offers it to Krishna, he will pray to Krishna that Krishna, he is in Ajnana, but you please consider this as a devotional service, and I am offering it on their behalf to you. Please give them somehow or other, give them devotional service, bring them peace in their life through. So this is how the spiritual masters and pure devotees they pray. So Prabhupada's aim at this, when he's saying this, is that when they are giving that Lakshmi, otherwise what happens? They may give prasad, they may give their whatever they cooked at home, they will give. They may have their own ways of offering and other things, or they may not even offer, we don't know. And what they put, with what consciousness they put, we don't know. So when we go and take prasadam at their home, then naturally we get contaminated by whatever things that's there. It's different from how you take temple prasadam, or at home you take the offered mahaprasad, right? So instead of influencing them with the devotional service, we get influenced by whatever thing, because there is no give, only take. You understand? So there, that's where Prabhupada is here doing this very, very important sacrifice, that their Lakshmi, I don't know what way they might have they might have earned or whatever. Mostly they should have done it with honesty only, whatever. We just take it that way. And when we offer that in Krishna service, like so many people, they are going and saying, can you offer for a room? Can you offer for this place, etc. They give their Lakshmi. That is nothing for them to give some small piece of their so much wealth they have. But when the pure devotees offer it to Krishna, they do it with humble prayers. So Krishna somehow or will show his that sidelong glance on them to bring them to Krishna. That's the idea, you know. So it's not outside people may say that, hey, these ISKCON people are after Lakshmi, they don't know, they will not cater for the poor and this and that. But you see, there are certain things which need to be sorted out from a system point of view also, right? Janmashtami is only one day, and you have 30-40 lakhs people coming, you have to accommodate certain things. And when some of these important people in the society come, you can't, when you make them wait in the normal queue, then the normal crowd people will also start crowding, and instead of seeing the Radha Rasbihari and Radha Gopinath, they will start looking at their own these Radhas and go and Vallabhas, whatever, you know, these Kumars and Khans and whatever, they will be looking at them. So it will be chaos, stampedes and other things will happen. So people don't understand these things, you know, they just put it in the newspaper that ISKCON scatters only to wealthy people like that. But for us, as Prabhupada said, for me, everybody is a rascal. My equanimity is this. Everybody is a rascal. That is how my samatha is. In other words, your wealth is nothing in front of Krishna. But when you offer it to Krishna, you will accept it lovingly. Whatever you have, it is intelligence, so physical service, physical power, strength, whatever it is, you just give it to Krishna. So that is pretty much the case. I think that's what we learned from Maharaj. When I also had this question for a long time. When Maharaj made the statement, it really made sense. That he knows, or they know exactly what this person is after. This person will need, right now he will not have his time to give to Krishna, but he has his money to give to Krishna, his Lakshmi to give to Krishna. So whatever he is giving, let's just offer it to Krishna. Later, they may give their time. So not everybody will be able to give the same thing. You know, you cannot expect everybody to give time all the time. So there's some may give in the form of money, some will give in the form of Lakshmi, kind. Some may give in the form of bringing many souls. You know, bringing many souls to Krishna. They may not be able to come to the temple, but they will be continuously bringing so many souls to the temple by their preaching outside, etc., etc. Some may be bringing more influential people to the temple, like they will have some connection with some, say, collectors and commissioners and whatnot. So we do need their blessings also to run our functions, festivals, and so on, right? So everybody has to offer their services, and that's where Prabhupada made such a big. I mean, there's no moment, you have service, you have opportunity to serve everybody. So I hope this helps understand uh, the mood behind your devotee saying, okay, if you can't even give your time, at least give the money you have. Or if you can't give the money, you may have some other things, like you may grow some crops in your home, some flowers or something. Anything that you can give, this will be accepted by Krishna with love. And now, right now, they may not even have the love to offer, but on their behalf, Prabhupada had to do that, so that Krishna, Radharani and Krishna will show their blessings, mercy. Okay. That's
like BG
yes.
428, does it say about this Prabhu? Like some people sacrifice their time, some people sacrifice
Yes. Very good point. Very good sloka, Madan. 4.28, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
This is how Bhagavad Gita should be read in conjunctions with the actions of a pure devotee. They follow Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, their life. Dravya yajna tapo yajna sloka. Yoga yajna sada pare, swadhyaya jnana yajnascha yatayah samshita. Having separate strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, and others by performing severe austerities, by practicing yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance and transcend man. Beautiful verse. Thank you, Mataji. So we need Bhakta Sangha. So let's continue.
So anybody would like to continue?
Yeah, anybody would like to continue?
Shall I, Prabhu? From where?
The gates and entrances to the school.
Hare Krishna. The gates and entrances to Dascot were emblazoned with the family crest, a crowned pair of wooden sandals flanked by a prancing horse and lion. The front doors opened to a set of stairs and the hallways to Prabhupada's wing with marble flooring, gold-framed paintings along with the wall, and ornate metal tables on whose marble tops were displayed decorative vases, Ming jades, ivory carvings, and other priceless traditional works of art. There was even an elevator up to the second floor. Bhogilal Patel had allotted Prabhupada a bedroom and a darshan room for meeting people, and across the way an area for Prabhupada's assistants, including his servant Shrutakirti and his Sanskrit editor Pradyumna. At the end of the darshan room was Prabhupada's usual low table and asana. The rest of the room was arranged for people to sit on the floor with chairs available for special guests.
So this explanation is so nice because it's like you are entering into some Dwarka palace or Vaikuntha palace, right?
Yeah.
What is explaining. So you see, on one day Prabhupada is in the very humble room, and another day he is offered a opulent palace where this Bhogilal Patel's palace is there, and both are same for him, you know. So that's why he is giving this nice description here that so for a Parivrajaka Acharya, it doesn't matter where they stay. One day they will be given a nice bedding, another day they'll be on the floor. But for them, there's no difference at all. So by this time, Shrutakirti Prabhu is already there with him, and Pradyumna Prabhu is because Prabhupada on the move, he does his Bhagavatam. See, while you understand one thing also here, that during this period, he is writing letters to all the people around the world, and he is getting updates from all the temples that are happening. Vrindavan is happening, Mayapur is happening, then Delhi things are going on, then US a whole thing is going on, Australia is going on, China, Japan and all things are going on. Then Africa, things are going on. America, South America, things are Canada, everywhere things are going on. 75 years old, 75, 70 years old, and he's traveling, and he's writing Bhagavatam also.
Amazing.
And this Bhagavatam we are reading, that's what I was talking to our Gauranga Darshan Prabhu a couple of weeks ago in Eco Village, you know. And he said some interesting statement. Prabhupada translated these books all the way sitting all awake all night. And we are not able to read these books in the daytime also. What an amazing statement. All night, one night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, this morning, 5 o'clock, he would be writing. We are not able to read morning 10 to 5 also, we are not able to read. 10 to 2 also, 10 to 12 also, we are not able to read.
I heard it in Hindi, प्रभु जी. बोले प्रभुपाद ने रात रात भर जाग के किताबें लिखी, हमारे लिए दिन में बिना सोए पढ़ लें यही बहुत है.
Yeah. He was also there in Pune recently, right? He told me that 1.5 days.
Yeah, he went to Vishalnagar temple, but he didn't came here, Prabhu.
Because he told me that 1.5 days he stayed, and they arranged 9 programs for him, and he completely wiped out by the time he came back.
He didn't attend NVCC.
Sorry?
He didn't come to NVCC.
Yeah, imagine if he had come to NVCC, then you would have literally squeezed him like this and sent him only the coming. Anyway, so let's read further.
To get from the servants' area to the hallway, one had to pass by the doorway to the darshan room. When I passed one day, I saw Gargamuni and Tamal Krishna sitting opposite Prabhupada's desk, arguing with him. I was surprised. I had never seen disciples argue so vehemently with him. We are just wasting our time in India, Gargamuni was saying. Prabhupada clearly wanted them to stay. We are not, we are just like businessmen, one of them said. We are collecting money and making life members. Prabhupada was sympathetic to their frustration, but told them,
So
I
this,
want you to stay
one
here.
thing if you see, Prabhupada implemented this life membership mainly in India only. He knew that people will not give their time to hearing philosophy or thing, but then they would have some Lakshmi to give, because they are generally pious people. They offer Lakshmi to the temples and sadhus, etc. So Prabhupada implemented this especially in Bombay, Delhi, and all, and it worked out very well. A lot of these wealthy people became life members, and when they became life members, you continuously send them prasadam, books, etc. So they are somehow or other, directly or indirectly, constantly in touch with the spiritual side of the thing. So, but then they are not used to this. The Gargamuni Prabhu and others, they are more used to preaching in the West, where they talk to philosophy. For hours they can talk philosophy. The people who are coming will have so many different things about Nirvana, Buddhism, Jainism, whatever they heard about here and there. So, because I also had my little experience in the US when we were preaching, people like to sit and talk for a long time. In Rishikesh also, I remember just now when we went, I was there about a month ago. We had a Kirtan program the evening on Saturday. It was over by 8 o'clock. And Prasada was over by 8:45. Some 200 people attended, 150 people. And the foreigners, I mean, say from Israel and Italy and all these places, they had come they are not ISKCON devotees. They just come for like just to get some enlightenment in Rishikesh, right? There are so many groups are there. They're talking for more than 2.5 hours with devotees. And I was surprised, devotees were also patiently answering all their questions. And normally when you see, when our devotees go, they will not spend more than 5-10 minutes. They say, okay, come on, you take the book, read whatever you have questions, Prabhupada will answer you. But these devotees had to, and they were also not tired at all. They were so inspired and they were asking questions not out of doubts, doubtful, challenging, but they were eagerly asking questions. So the devotees also were just sitting and talking for more than 2 hours with these people. So in the West, the preaching is a little different. But in India, because a lot of crowd and so many other things are happening, it can be it's a bit different, right? So that's why this whole thing is starting now. They are feeling that, and especially with the this land thing not yet settled, they feel that things are not really going forward here. So sometimes this frustration can keep in. And you see how Prabhupada is giving them the freedom to argue with the spiritual master also. Normally, you are not supposed to raise a even speak in front of the spiritual master, but you can see in this particular incident how Maharaj is really quoting this. It's a very useful thing to know how much Prabhupada has been very lenient. While on the one side he can be strict, on the other side he can be so lenient. Please continue.
Prabhupada was sympathetic to their frustration, told them, I want you to stay here. It is the spiritual master's desire that you stay here, so that is better. Isn't it service to go to America and preach? One asked. In America, the preaching is so much better. I was sitting off to the side. Shrutakirti recalled, amazed at the intensity of my godbrothers, Gargamuni and Tamal Krishna seemed relentless. But the more they were determined to leave India, the more Prabhupada was determined to have them stay. It was it was evident that Prabhupada considered the preaching work in India to be of the utmost importance.
See, one thing, if you see why how Prabhupada's this vision has come to reality. No. Yes, Prabhupada spent a lot of his time around the world. And actually, in India, he spent much lesser time in those 11, 12 years of his preaching time, right? Comparatively. But if you see on the ground, the reality, after Prabhupada's departure, at least for 10, 15, 20 years, good 20 years, late 70s to late 90s at least, the environment in most of the other, especially in the US and a few other foreign countries, it had come down a bit. Because the thing is that, see, they were all surviving because of Prabhupada's association. That vibe of that vibration of Prabhupada's association, physical association, and doing it for him, etc. They did not have the rooted culture before that. They were coming from so many different things, and so they were all running by that thing. So when Prabhupada left, it became big. It became a big void. It created a big void in their lives. Many of them left. I mean, they took a break in the movement, frankly speaking. A lot of them came back after, but then quite a few of them left the movement. That was a reality. Like, who will guide us from here on? Like where to go for shelter when we had some doubts, and all those kind of things were there. But you see, that's the time in India, things started growing much better. After Prabhupada's departure, when the preaching started more, here also there were challenges, but then a little bit of things that which Prabhupada gave here started growing nicely. And then you see, it started creating more ripples into the other countries as well. Like when you enter into the 2000 plus, 2001, 2003, etc. Especially after Prabhupada's centenary of 1996. Before 1996, there was a lot of challenges. Some sannyasis going away, some senior Vaishnavas, all those things were happening. But when some of the same devotees, they got together and they said, see, now Prabhupada's centennial is coming. Let's bury all our differences, our challenges, whatever it may be, and come together and glorify the pure devotee, dearest devotee of Krishna. And then things can move forward. And that's what happened in 1996. An entire year was made as a celebration of Prabhupada's centennial. And that really turned the corner in quite a few ways. many big temples started coming up. You see, after 96 only, you see all this Delhi temple, our Bangalore temple, so many other temples started coming up. In the West also, there's so many new preaching programs and other things started going up. And there are a lot of travels between India and West of, from many other devotees also. So all these things happened. But the thing was that when things were starting to go down a little bit in the other countries, it was growing more in India. It was flourishing in India. And that created a nice positive vibe in the other places where the things are going down. And now you see everywhere it is really flourishing like anything. You see Kirtan Melas happening, you see festivals like all the temples are like overflowing with crowd. Like Bhaktivedanta Manor, easily 3-4 lakh people come on the Janmashtami day only. Just one day. And these are not just Indians we are talking about. From all over UK and Europe, everywhere people come. That's how huge it is. Janmashtami festival is in the UK, especially in our Bhaktivedanta Manor. So Prabhupada had a vision that, why he is insisting on preaching in India, is this will support in the future when things are going down a bit. Initially, the Western preaching assisted growing in India, because Indians, when they see Indians doing the preaching, they will not care. But when the Westerners, foreigners, they all came and did Harinam and preaching and everything, then our people started getting excited about it and they started growing, joining so nicely and taking it up seriously. But once they took it up, after Prabhupada's departure, this is how the things panned out. So anything that the Acharya says or does, it has a long-term vision included. That's what my point was to explain this point. Okay, let's read further and understand.
Does somebody want to read,
Correct,
Prabhu? Prabhuji?
Yeah. Sorry. Was it Rajesh Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu, I had a question.
Yes,
So,
Prabhu. Can you be a bit louder, Prabhu?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, why is it that Srila Prabhupada didn't clarify that? Sometimes when there is confusion with the Guru and their vision, why doesn't Srila Prabhupada clarify to them that this is my vision, and so that is why I'm lining you up like this?
Prabhu, if I have to give you a lighter answer, the movie doesn't sound interesting if you know the climax. Right? So if the Acharya tells everything ahead of time, he won't even endeavor. Right? Say, though there's going to be a big temple here coming up. Then so if Krishna is going to do it anyway, I'm not going to endeavor. It's anyway going to come. Why should I work? Right? So the Acharyas always give this, how should I say this, they give their little hints as to things can happen, things may not happen like that. Many times my spiritual master will do that with us. That he will say, yes, this will come here. The next day he will say, oh, this may not happen. So he will keep us on our toes. They will keep us on our toes. Otherwise, what's the fun really? Right, Rajesh Prabhu?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Let's read.
Does somebody else want to read, Prabhu?
Yeah. Anybody want to read?
I will
Who's reading?
I am reading.
Yeah. Okay, your voice is very low, Prabhu.
Is
I
it?
don't know why.
Okay.
Maybe you can increase the composing.
Now?
Now it is little better, Prabhu. Yes.
Okay, bro. I will read. From with devotees, no?
Yeah. This thing, it was evident that Prabhupada considered the preaching work in India to be of utmost importance.
With
And
devotees.
seeing how upset Prabhupada was. The first line in that page, Prabhu.
Seeing how upset Srila Prabhupada was. Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yeah. We can hear you well, Prabhu.
Seeing how upset Srila Prabhupada was, I was inquiring in.
I was squirming. Means I was feeling very affected. I mean, squirming means shaking. It's not a very pleasant thing to happen. Yeah.
I was squirming in the corner of the room. I also understood how hard it was to stay in India. Srila Prabhupada was depending on these men to assist him in this important work. But they felt that they just couldn't do it any longer. It was fierce battle. The intensity of the negotiation was something I would have expected among peers rather than between spiritual master and disciple. Prabhupada wanted them to stay, and that was final. They argued that they needed to leave India to preach. At this time, the West was a fertile preaching field. Finally, in apparent disgust, Srila Prabhupada said, "All right, you just chant your 16 rounds, follow 4 regulatory principles, and do any damn thing you want."
Uh, Sometimes exchanges like this can happen, But you see how much Prabhupada has given the freedom. While he is expressing his desire, but we should also appreciate sometimes from the side of the devotees also, because Tamal Krishna Maharaj started this Radha Damodar traveling Sankirtan party that time with so many buses. Brahmacharis were just joining in loads, like how in Pune and all you see loads of brahmacharis joining. That's actually like that in the West. They will just join. They will just come in with a long hair, and then they will come inside the temple with the long hair and go to the backside and come back with a shaven head. That's how the making full-time devotees used to be. And so such nice things are happening, and how can they will avoid? How can they avoid that? And of course, Prabhupada had given them even more responsibilities also. Like Ramakrishna Maharaj had to do many other things as well. So there are times when such things will happen, and this should not be considered in too much into obeying the law. They are offending Prabhupada like that. There's both of them desire to serve. It's just that how much are we willing to submit to the spiritual master's desires, uh, irrespective of our thing. There sometimes this can also uh, turn into a sense gratification. When I say it's better to preach there than here, here nobody is there. Instead, if I do it there, I will get more people coming. That's a sense gratification, right? There's no. There are times when you have to sit, like when all the other big programs are going on. This one is Gaur Govind Maharaj was sitting in a plot in Orissa, and he was doing his dedicated service to Prabhupada in a small hut. And Prabhupada stayed with him 1 full month. He went and stayed with him 1 full month, and he appreciated his disciples' work like anything. So at times you will have to probably stay back and not be only part of the bandwagon. One beautiful example Mahavishnu Maharaj gave, so I thought I will share it here. There are times when you'll have to do certain services which are not glamorous. I mean, they don't. We always look for glamorous services, So Maharaj said that some of us will have to. He said he gave the example of a marriage party, a wedding party, a wedding function. So what happens? All the visitors are the friends, relatives, everybody they come. So inside the bride and groom are sitting, and all the relatives they're all busy doing this that so many sanskaras they do, and they're fun, laughing, making fun, etc. They are sitting and watching, and all those things are happening. But there will be people. There will be some couple of folks who will be standing outside with that putting water or giving some little that sugar candy and welcoming them, right? So they will not be part of the festivities. They will not be able to spend. They can't just give up that service and go and spend some time talking to some long time friend suddenly coming. Oh, they can't do all that. They have to stand there and keep doing the what do you call that sprinkling the rose water essence or whatever that they do that, right? And they will probably give some flowers and those things. So when inside everything is going on, they will have to stand here and do this service. So it's not for some people they have to do that sacrifice. That's something which Maharaj said that some of us, we have to take this kind of a sacrifice, the services which you would want to do something else where you want to be part of the fun, but you may not be able to. So, especially when we have to move around, preach and all that. He himself said, I have so many places my disciples have built for me all over the world, but I can't stay in most palatial buildings also for more than 2-3 days. So we had to do this preaching. That is more important. So at the end of the day, it comes down to whether we are willing to do the service to Krishna, in spite of all the inconvenience, are willing to take up any inconvenience to please Krishna, like the gopis did when Krishna's headache, right? That. So that's where the point ends actually. I see two hands raised. Was it Chitra Mataji? You going to say something?
Yeah, Prabhuji, this argument, whatever this these people were doing with Prabhupada, I could feel that the relation between them was like father and son, meaning for where they are arguing with him, and then the Prabhupada was trying to explain them. So I felt that relation is more than a guru and disciple. That's what I felt.
Yeah. That's a good point, Mataji. But only thing is that when the father and son argue, sometimes there is a good chance that the son may forget that he is arguing with the father. Right? So there is a line where we may cross the border line, the borderline, right? Lakshman Rekha, basically. But the father will never forget that he is talking to the son. Right? He will never forget that. So that's a little bit of a slight difference there. Shiva Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to give an example of the same marriage event where if you see the plantain tree or the banana tree, it's kept on the front and it attracts everyone so beautifully, but that lives only for one day. And if you compare with the bamboo, it is used in constructions and just thrown behind, and that bamboo service is so everlasting, but people don't notice it. And even if it is kept behind, it will go through many stages of different constructions.
Yeah, it can be reused. Yeah,
Yes, Prabhuji.
that's right. No, very good
So
example. Thank you.
just relating to the flashy services you are saying.
Yeah, that's
May
true.
not last long like a plantain.
Everything has its own place. You need to have that. See, you need to have the bride and the groom there too. Otherwise, what will you do? Some function has to happen inside. If they are not there, who will come actually if the bride and groom are not there and the function is not there? So even in the temples, the Abhishek, Kirtans and all will keep going on in the hall, in the temple hall, and there'll be someone who is arranging the parking thing or arranging the chapel stand, serving in the chapel stand, shoe stand. So they are the sacrifice that they are doing. Nobody would know who is the one who is carrying those slippers. But then still that service is very much appreciated by Krishna. Thank you. Okay, so who was reading? Suresh Prabhu, yes.
Yeah. With devotees.
Nice discussions. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Prabhu. Please continue.
With devotees staying in his Shivner flat, Mr. Mohotta, who lived nearby, asked one or two of them to come to his home every morning and teach him about the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, at Bhogilal Patel's, Mr. Mohotta complained to Prabhupada that when he asked the devotees questions, they could not answer.
Prabhu, your voice is a little low, Prabhu. You can keep the mic a bit closer. This is a nice point, actually. Very important point here.
Prabhu? Hello?
Yes, much better, Prabhu.
Brahmananda, the Prabhupada, the Mohta who lived nearby asked one or two of them to come to his home every morning and teach him about the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, at Bhogilal Patel's, Mr. Mohatta complained to Prabhupada that when he asked the devotees questions, they could not answer. So, Brahmananda, who was one of the Mr. Mohatta's teachers, replied, when he asks questions, we read him the answers in your books. Prabhupada curled his lips and shook his head. He doesn't want to know what is it in the books. He wants to know what you know.
What you know. Amazing, huh, Prabhupada? See, this is something which is very interesting. Because Prabhupada this way wants us to read his books. Not read it book for like when you ask question, yes, this is Prabhupada's. No, you explain what you understand from that. What is your realization from that? Yaswanubhavam akila shrutisara mekam. Adhyatma deepam adititi shatam tamodam. Swa anubhavam. What is your experience, own experience? That's where I could very much relate this to when we started the Grantaraj service 22 years ago. Maharaj kind of initially he was letting us read whatever we are sharing some quotes of Prabhupada and all that. He was encouraging us initially. But then after some time, when we saw one or two offerings where they just put Prabhupada's quote and one or two lines only, then Maharaj said, what is this point of cutting paste from copying and pasting from Prabhupada's purport directly? Who wants to know that? They can read it from their own thing easily. You have to give what is your understanding, realization, what is your contemplation on how to practically apply it. That you explain in your writing. You should combine that with Prabhupada's writings, and then you do. That is when it makes sense. So many times when devotees do that, Maharaj will call devotees and they wherever they are, they personally he will get their numbers and he will talk to them. Those days mobiles were not there so frequently, so you still talk to devotees and tell them this point you have written nicely, this is very nice, this is so nice, how Krishna has inspired you. Like that, Maharaj will encourage them. So I could really relate this to how Maharaj also said that you have to realize Prabhupada's purpose. You have to contemplate and realize Prabhupada's purpose, not just read and just speak. Here also, we are reading this, but you are not just reading and enjoying. In between, we are discussing some clarification points and questions and our own understandings and all this. No, that is when it makes it even more interesting, right? So beautiful point this is. It's a nice. Next two paragraphs is very nice. We will finish with that today. Very sweet point that Maharaj is sharing. Prabhu, you want to read and close it, Prabhu?
Yes, I want to read.
Yes, Prabhu. Like that enthusiasm. Please, Prabhu.
Here,
As I was passing by.
this Mohatta was not fortunate, to have Mr. Kalacakra as his guide.
No. Please.
Okay.
Where they are and where I am. They are all big people, Prabhu. They are big devotees there. Please. No, let's continue. As I was passing by. Yes.
As I was passing by the door to Prabhupada's room, one day he mentioned to me.
Motion to me.
He motioned to me with his eyes to enter. So Bharadwaj is singing of Narottama Das Thakur's Gaurangera Dutipada was playing from a new album of Kirtans, every town and village, recorded live at the New York temple. When it was over, Prabhupada looked up and said, when I am no longer present, you can listen to this song and remember your spiritual master.
Amazing, huh? How Prabhupada is preparing even in those days. 72, we are talking about 71, 72. And how much Prabhupada is enjoying. So much of this things are going on. So much of chaos and all going on. And in the middle of all these things, Prabhupada is enjoying this Gauranga Dutipada. And he's saying, this is such a amazing bhajan that when I'm not present, please you can sing this and listen to this and remember your spiritual master. That day when I read this, when I've not heard bhajans with the words exactly, but I like Prabhupada singing. I may not know exactly every word of what Prabhupada is singing, but that day when I read this statement, I went back to Prabhupada's albums and I heard this thing. It was really very sweet. Because when you hear the bhajan with the context behind it, it makes it even more sweeter, even more pleasant, isn't it? So, Prabhupada, for him to say that you can listen to this bhajan and remember your spiritual master, because when the spiritual master is not present in the planet, that's when we will feel the reality. The reality will hit hard on us. And I don't know how we have spent 14 years now without Maharaj's presence, really. Especially because we spent so much close time with him also. So when we hear this, Prabhupada saying this, that you hear this bhajan and remember your spiritual master, you will feel the pain of separation subsiding. And I could feel it, how Giriraj Maharaj would be feeling every single day in and day out. They are connecting with Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, how he must have been feeling. And this is how Prabhupada has given some solution to alleviate that pain. It's really nice. I really enjoyed this. Enjoyed in the sense I really appreciated this thing about Prabhupada saying this. In between all these things, there is a very big action scenes going on, and in between, Maharaj is putting some poignant emotional incident also there. Please read the next one, Prabhuji. The next paragraph, I mean.
It was poignant statement that entered deep in my heart. I considered why Prabhupada had singled out that song. One verse says, Gauranga gunite jhure nitya lila tare spore se jana bhakati adhika se jana
Adhikari.
bhakati adhikari. If anyone feels ecstasy and cries from appreciating Gauranga's transcendental qualities, he becomes eligible to perform pure devotional service. And I was confident that I or we
That
if I or we remembered Srila Prabhupada in that mode of appreciation, with such feelings of separation, we would get same result.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So we'll stop there. Rajesh Prabhu predicted that we will, in all possibilities, we will cross 200 pages. So we are still stuck at 197 now. We have 198 to start. So never ever take Prabhupada for granted. That's the lesson. But Rajesh Prabhu, you're there.
I had sent the message, Prabhu. I also had sent the message.
Yes. Okay, sorry. It was you who said.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry, Rajesh Prabhu wondering.
This particular Vaishnav Gita is available with Prabhupada's explanation about the meaning of this.
Yes, Prabhu. We can go to prabhupadavani.org, and in that there is one thing for all Prabhupada's bhajans are there. You can see one of those bhajan things and where Aurangera Duttipada is there, then the Shadgosami Ashtakam is there. Pretty much everything of Prabhupada's bhajans recorded is all there. You can enjoy that. That's what I keep doing in the night, keep listening to Prabhupada's solo bhajans. So sweet and so soulful, That's something. Frankly speaking, in my early days in the US, we will whole day Prabhupada's bhajans will be going on in our home. Like in between lectures will be there, but when we are cooking or something, that these bhajans in the night and all these bhajans will go on. And when prasadam is being served, also Prabhupada's bhajans will go on. They're so soothing and sweet that it just automatically transports us to the platform of goodness, even if you don't want to. Pure goodness. So that's the simplest way of getting to pure goodness, listening to Prabhupada's bhajans. Lectures means you have to listen, like, every word very carefully. That you can do also when a group, whatever. But then when you're doing some activities, something where you're driving in the car or something, of course, both work equally. You have done both of them because in the West, there is this, we keep driving long distances. Here also nowadays we do. So during those long drives, these are the best food for us to enjoy. So with that, I will stop here. We will stop here. Krishna willing, we will catch up very soon. Tomorrow is a break. Saturday morning, we will get back to Narad Muni. And both Narad Muni and Prabhupada are like tightly holding us in two tracks, I think. One side, the Bhagavatam is going on, one side. Definitely, it is Krishna's arrangement that, these things are revealed to us. The books and things are revealed to us. We'll stop here, Prabhu's Matajis. Have a great time. And Saturday morning, Krishna will catch up. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Prabhupada Vaishnava ki jai, Tagore Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much.
Thank you.